Nice to be here. My business is a retail intelligence business, shopper insight, research business, and retail consultancy. And we're based in London, in a small, modest office in Shoreditch, not far from Box Park, actually. Funnily enough, the slide that Diana showed a little bit earlier on. But our reach is global. We're fortunate enough to work with some global brands, manufacturer brands and retail brands, and I'm here in India for the first time and really enjoying my time here so far, albeit only a day. I'd like to start with this contention, which is that technology is dead. So perhaps the two speakers before me might disagree, and I'm sure there will be some people in the audience who will also disagree with me. But imagine for a moment that India no longer has 900 million mobile subscribers, that you no longer have the fastest growing mobile market in the world. We no longer have tablets, we no longer have devices, we're no longer connected. It's pretty far-fetched, eh? It wasn't very long ago when the world was like that. We have come an awful long way in a very short period of time. But I don't think we can consume everything all of the time. That's my point, really. And I think we need to think about that a little bit, and I think it needs editing. When I was young, I was fortunate enough to go home after school, ride my bicycle, play with my friends, perhaps even play a game of cricket, although not very well. My daughter doesn't have that luxury. She's always on, as Ken Robinson says. She's always connected to something. We have to manage her time. She always has a screen, a tablet, a digital device of some sort. And I think really that's the nub of it. And I'm going to recommend that we take a digital holiday urgently. And in my view, I think it applies equally to retail. We often believe that technology, and I'm talking about shopper-facing, consumer-facing technology, is the solution to everything. Through my experiences, I have seen, if you like, experienced some behaviors, world-class behaviors at retail. And I wanted to share some of those with you today. Those behaviors are equally applicable here in Mumbai. This is my holiday snaps from yesterday. I arrived and had a walk around a local area from Bandra, and I see here in the hotel a Louis Vuitton store, world-class retailer. I think these behaviors apply equally to here as they do anywhere around the world. There are 8 behaviors that I want to talk to you about. There are 8 because I've got an 8 ball, so I wanted to use that for you. These are they. You'll recognize a lot of them, I'm sure. They're not new in and of themselves, but I think if we manage to do these things well, then we'll be doing well as retailers. The first one, enrichment. This is about depth of experience. This is about making connections, emotional connections, and rational connections. Making it more than a transactional affair. If we do that, I think shoppers will reward us with their loyalty. This is an interesting example of technology being used. An online music store, Star Hub in Singapore, some of you may recognize it, wanted to engage with a youthful audience. They realized that fashion and music are pretty close to young people's hearts. Probably a third thing in there, but they didn't want to use that. Fashion and music were the 2 things that they focused on. They combined the 2. They used RFID technology. Chips were added to clothes, put into the labels in a variety of stores. And when shoppers tried on clothes, a shirt or a pair of jeans, music played in the changing room. And it was music that was appropriate to the style and to the association with the particular clothing. It was a great success for them. Loads of additional click-throughs, 84% increase in click-throughs, 21%, I think, increase in terms of sales, paid music downloads on the site. A great application of technology being used to benefit the shopper, benefit us all. Abercrombie, or now Abercrombie & Fitch, perhaps this is a US retailer available here online. I don't think they have stores here though, but they use sex pretty much to sell their products and service. They present attractive looking models, Abercrombie and Fitch, Hollister, Gilly Hicks, Abercrombie and Fitch Kids. This is a small business that I saw in Melbourne in Australia not all that long ago, called Little Mule, which is a bike store and also a cafe. It's a very creative place. It's a good expression, good quality product, well executed. It's a rich experience. It enriches the experience in its own way. Macy's in New York. I love this example. Macy's are very clever at changing the relationship that they have with the retailer there. Every spring they have a flower show on the first floor, and it changes the nature of the first floor. It becomes a garden, if you like. It becomes a fine display, and actually, you know, you're no longer going in there as a department store. You're going in to appreciate the flowers and the garden that they've set up through their spring flower show. It's another way of enriching that experience. So enrichment is all about making connections with people and all about maintaining those connections and having some depth in those connections. Another behaviour, and I think this really is key, particularly to the conversations that we'll be having today and have had this morning through the two presentations and indeed this presentation,